In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA matchups, and I'll break them all down with free winning picks so you can bet smarter and win bigger. But first, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you get our picks the second they drop, because when the lines move, the early birds cash in. And if you want the full winning sport picks experience, head over to wspicks.com and check out our VIP packages, or grab a free consultation with one of our professional sports consultants for the sharpest edge you'll find anywhere. That's where the real plays live. We are your bookmaker's worst nightmare. These are the games we're hammering, the ones the books can't afford you to bet. This is Winning Sport Picks. The free picks are about to drop, and they're coming in hot. Milwaukee versus Boston sets up with Boston laying 8 and Milwaukee catching 8.5 depending on the book. And that number points toward Boston's ability to control defensive pace, especially at home. Milwaukee tends to rely on outbursts that don't always carry across 4 quarters against disciplined defenses, and Boston usually turns these into slower half-court possessions that favor the favorite. With the total around 226, scoring should stay steady without turning into a full shootout. I like Boston to cover the 8, and I like the game to stay under the 226.5. The Clippers versus Houston has Houston laying 9 and the Clippers catching 10 depending on the shop, and big spreads like this usually come down to who controls tempo. Houston is built to dictate shot quality through physicality, while the Clippers often depend on rhythm that fluctuates possession to possession. The total around 220 means books expect controlled scoring more than chaos, which fits Houston's style. I like Houston to cover the 9, and I like the game to stay under the 221.5. Portland versus New Orleans shows New Orleans catching 5 and Portland laying 5.5 depending on the number, but stylistically New Orleans tends to defend better when the pace slows, while Portland usually needs clean rhythm to protect a lead. The total around 237 indicates expectation of moderate offense without a full sprint, and tighter pace generally favors the home dog when they are getting multiple possessions of value. I like New Orleans to cover the 5, and I like the game to stay under the 237.5. Denver versus Sacramento gives us Denver laying 8 and Sacramento catching 9, depending where you shop. And this type of spread is usually about defensive structure over full quarters. Denver typically grinds games into controlled half-court flow that limits opponent spurts, while Sacramento needs faster tempo to stay competitive, and that's harder to generate against a disciplined road opponent. With the total around 238, scoring should be consistent without runaway pace. I like Denver to cover the 8, and I like the game to stay under the 239. Now listen to me, those are the free picks, but the one game I am unloading on tonight, the game that's going to crush your bookie's soul, that's the VIP play of the day at wspicks.com. This is the nuke, the hammer, the max bet, the one play I've circled, the game that will bury your bookmaker 6 feet under. When it hits, and it will, your bookie is going to need a doctor, a lawyer, and maybe even a priest. If you want to ride with me on the biggest bet of the day, get to wspicks.com right now. For the recap, I'm rolling with Boston -8 and the under, Houston -9 and the under, New Orleans +5 and the under, and Denver -8 with the under, a slate leaning on defensive structure, controlled tempo, and matchup-driven edges. This is Winning Sport Picks, where we don't just bet, we bury bookmakers. Smash that subscribe button, drop your favorite plays in the comments, and hammer that like button like you're hammering your bookie into the dirt. We're cashing, we're dominating, and tonight we're dancing on the grave of your bookmaker. Let's go!